Okay, so good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Lara Flory, and I am a volunteer with SCORE, and I want to just cover a few introductory items before turning things over to our facilitator, Del Shadbidgen. Let's see, next slide. You see listed on this slide the organizations that provide assistance to us in presenting this webinar. We are supported by the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce and the various chambers of commerce located on the Cape and the islands, as well as by the Community Development Partnership located in Eastham. As always, we are grateful to all of these organizations for their ongoing support of our educational programs. For those of you who are not familiar with SCORE, we are a fully volunteer, nonprofit organization and a resource partner of the U.S. Small Business Administration. SCORE's mission is to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education. SCORE has been doing this work since its founding in 1964 through educational opportunities like this webinar, as well as by providing mentoring to people who are in business or are thinking about starting a business. We benefit from having more than 50 volunteer mentors and subject matter experts serving in our chapter here on Cape Cod and the islands. People who have a broad array of differing career experiences and expertise. So if you would like to avail yourself of these mentoring services, all of which come at no cost and are completely confidential, you can call the SCORE office at 508-775-4884 or go online to seek an appointment at www.capecod.score.org, clicking the Find a Mentor tab to get started. I also know that many of you on this webinar today come from other SCORE chapters in our district, a district that covers all of Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Mentors and subject matter experts in each of these chapters are ready to provide mentoring assistance to you as well. Their website access is listed here and will be posted later in the chat function. You see on the slide a reference to Coastal Community Capital, a lending organization based here on the Cape that is licensed to do business throughout Massachusetts. We here at the Cape and Islands chapter of SCORE frequently work together with Coastal, helping their clients to develop their business plans further and helping our clients to better understand the scope of financing alternatives that may be available to them. And last preliminary, today's procedures. All participants other than our facilitator have been muted. We ask that you enter any questions or comments that you might have in the Q&A feature using the button that you should see at the bottom of your screen. Please do not enter them into the chat. It's just easier for us to track one feature. We will answer as many questions as we can get to during the course of the discussion. Be aware that the webinar is being recorded. We will send the link to the recording and other material to all who registered for today's session once the recording is available. And we will launch a poll near the end of the webinar. We would appreciate you responding to the poll before you leave. It helps us make sure that our educational program is meeting the needs of our small business community. And now I will turn things over to our facilitator, my colleague, Dell. All right, Dell, let me stop sharing so you can share.
Great, thank you, Lara.
You're welcome.
All right, share screen. Everyone see okay? Can you see it all right? I'm going to slideshow mode here. All right, so good morning, everyone. Dale Shadbidgen here. I'm a SCORE volunteer. I am a subject matter expert. I do not participate in general mentoring. General mentor, as Lara said, will help you with any part of your business, whether it's high-level strategy, etc. I just come in and laser focus on digital marketing. So web design, SEO, social media. We have a ton of material to go through today. I've got screenshots and walkthroughs, but I want to remind everyone that this changes very rapidly. Sometimes Instagram especially will roll out new layouts or new interfaces or new features. They might be in my They might be in my screenshots. They could be a little different when you actually go to use it. What's really important today is that you understand the concepts of what we're going to talk about. Instagram, the mechanisms, the framework, what's going on, who's using it, how do we use it? And then I always say, this isn't a cop-out. YouTube is the best place to go. If I mention a button or I mention something, I always go to YouTube. Sometimes I'll log in one account and it'll be there, and I'll log in another account and the button's not there. This can be confusing. This is, Facebook or Meta now, who owns Instagram. They love rolling out new things. They love testing things. And when I say testing, I mean rolling out things without testing, meaning how do people use, how do a certain population of people use this feature? So just keep that in mind as we go and try not to get frustrated. Just try to understand the concepts for today. You can go back and watch the recording. You can use YouTube. There's a lot of things you can do afterwards. You're going to have to go through this process again separately as a separate exercise. So, and you're going to notice I talk super fast because I'm going to try and get through as much as possible. So just slow me down and ask a question using the Q&A feature anytime. So what is Instagram, right? This is a 101 class. You probably already know what Instagram is, but I think it's worth going through this little exercise here. It's a mobile app. You can access it from a desktop. Some of my accounts, I can actually post from a desktop. Some accounts I can post a photo, but not video. You definitely can't go live. It's really meant to be used from a phone, which creates a lot of challenges for creators. And I'll get to that a little bit later, how we can get over some of those challenges. It's in the App Store, whether you're on Android or iPhone. It's a free app to use, to download, just like Facebook. You sign up, you start getting friends, you follow people, people follow you, and you be social, right? Why do we care about this thing? If you haven't noticed, I'm in my mid-40s. My generation, Generation X and older, tends to be more of a Facebook crowd. I'm right on the cusp of where people are starting to use Instagram more than, say, Facebook or LinkedIn. It's a very visual platform. You actually cannot post unless you use a photo or a video or a graphic. So something visual. When I say a photo, I mean you could create a logo or a graphic or some type of video on your own. It doesn't have to be a camera photo per se. Why do we care about Instagram? Well, we care because potentially and growing over time, a certain percentage of our audience is going to be there. And we'll get into who is using Instagram in a minute. Not only that, so let's just say as a marketing company, right? I go through my list of clients or my list of clients, the people who write the checks, the people who I talk to are in their 40s, 50s plus. But a lot of times the people that are doing the research are younger. They're more tech savvy people. The owner of a business or a director or some type of manager says to a younger person, and I hate to stereotype here, but this is common. Hey, go find me, so I was just talking to a commercial flooring installer this morning. Go find me someone to refinish our showroom floors, or who does this or who does that. That younger person is on these networks, okay? They're doing a lot of the research. They may not be making the decision, but they're definitely an influence in who the decision maker goes with. So they're going to be really savvy with this. It's a social networking app, as I mentioned. It's a social media, not selling media. We'll get into that a little bit more. It's really focused on sharing photos and videos. As I mentioned, it is optimized for smartphones, which means, your orientation is going to be up and down versus side to side, like a lot of us think on a desktop or a laptop monitor. It has a feed, right? So you join Instagram, you can follow people or you can follow hashtags, which we'll get into. And you just kind of like Facebook, you get this, rolling feed of stuff that you, in theory, are interested in. You're also going to see ads. You can direct message people on Instagram. You can respond to direct messages. Instagram, even though there is a lot of spam, it discourages automation. It's a little bit more authentic than some of the other platforms. it's harder to say post a video from some of the it's harder to post a video from like your desktop or a certain like Adobe, for example. And this, people have tried workarounds and done things, but it really wants people to create with their phone. That's their real intention. You can get notifications from the app if someone replies to a post or they share a post or whatever. You choose those notifications. I don't choose any because I've got so many profiles I manage. My phone just doesn't stop dinging. You follow others and then you get followed. Just like in Facebook, where you have a like, we call it a follow in Facebook. And I'm trying to move the controls here. So in Facebook, you like somebody, or you can follow a business page. In Instagram, it's all follows. There's no likes on a profile.
Dale, speaking of Facebook, there's a question that came through, and they just, at some point, can you discuss linking your Instagram account to your Facebook page for your business?
Yep, that's not something we're going to cover today. We're going to focus on just Instagram, not any connections. I can send you a link on how to do that. It's complicated, and it's about a 10-minute process, and it's different for everybody, but I can get you some information after on where to go to do this. So who's using Instagram? It's kind of split down the middle. These metrics change based on where you read them and what year it is, but it's split down the middle between men and women. And of course, we have the whole, do not identify audience as well. There's no real, winner here in terms of who's using it. People who do use it are very active, 63%. And I think that number's crept up. These numbers are from last fall or last summer. They use it at least once a day. So it's a pretty active profile. And if you've installed Instagram on your phone recently, which I have, I got a new phone, you'll see that you'll get notifications once in a while from people that you follow. Hey, so-and-so posted a story. Hey, so-and-so went live. You'll get those types of notifications encouraging you to go back to use the app again. Lots of images. 75% of the content is images, or 73% rather. And this is actually, I think, shrunk. I saw a new study recently. Video is becoming huge. I think it's probably going to cross 20% this year. So 1 in 5 posts are video on average, of course. Videos can be, anywhere from a little 20-second clip to several minutes. And there's different mechanisms within Facebook, within Instagram, that you can do that. You can also go live. We'll talk about that. And then carousels. So like multiple images, being able to see kind of like bits of content. And there's some really cool things you can do with that also. Little bit different than what Facebook does. So let's talk about ages. So I said, I'm in my mid 40s here. Once you get into like the 25 to 34 crowd versus 34 plus, they're much heavier users of Instagram. And like I said, that's obviously changing over time. More and more people are getting into Instagram. And I think through the whole, this isn't not a personal opinion. This is just I guess this is an observation through like COVID and the last couple of election cycles, and the Patriots Super Bowl drama. I think Facebook has become a place where it's a lot more debating, I don't want to say negative, but more opinion expressing, whereas Instagram is more, it's definitely more culture, more travel, what people are doing. It's definitely a different vibe, if you will, than say a Facebook. A lot of people use a Facebook platform to kind of say what's on their mind, whereas Instagram is more like a doing platform. So I'll check the Q&A here. John says, thanks, it'd be helpful. So anonymous attendee, we're not going to talk about linking accounts. We're talking about how to get started with Instagram today. We won't cover how to link the two accounts. It's a really easy action, and I can send a YouTube video out afterwards. Things like those specific things we can't really cover in a one-on-one class, unfortunately. I know there's going to be a lot of questions we can't answer, but I definitely want to make sure we can get you the right information on that. So you create an account. Like I said, you want to download the account from the App Store. If you have a Facebook account, you can log in with it, your Facebook account. It's not going to link the two. It's just going to let you create an account. It's going to ask for some personal information like your birth date. Obviously, they want to make sure you're over 13 or over 18, depending on, it might hide sensitive content. And then it's going to ask you on the right here, start discovering people. The app wants you, so this is really fundamental here. This is what I want folks to learn today. These social media apps want you to stay on the app because they're going to serve you ads. The more the content is tailored to your interests, the better the experience you're going to have, the more you're going to come back, the longer you're going to stay on the app, the more ads you see. Once you understand this in Instagram or any social media, you can become an expert. You can become great at creating content that reaches your audience and keeps them engaged. Because if people are engaged with your content, Instagram is going to serve that content to them more. Okay, this is paramount. Once you get through this, the rest of it is just trial and error of learning the app, and then of course connecting things and some technical things. But that is the fundamental part of learning Instagram. I personally always set up accounts with an email address versus my Google account or my Facebook account. I like to have that control. I like to use my email and a password as my login. To me, it's just easier. If I ditch Facebook one day or I've switched Google accounts, I've got a work Google account and a personal Google account. I just like the experience of using my email. It's easier. So when you create an account on Instagram, you're going to have you have to choose a public or private account. If you don't know this or you don't remember this, in Facebook, you can do something similar, but in Instagram, it's really paramount that you choose the right one. And if you're here to grow your business, you're going to want to create a business account, which we'll get into. So personally, in a public account, sorry, I'm struggling here with my words. Public account, when you create an Instagram and you start posting, anyone from the world can see your posts. More than likely, they're not going to unless they somehow get turned on to your Instagram account. But anyone can search for your name and start looking at your posts without you approving them. A private account means when someone comes to your page or your Instagram profile, for example, they have to follow you, and then you have to click accept for them to follow you. Again, this is personal. Your content won't show up in searches. Your post won't show up in searches, etc. It's a way to protect your privacy, again, as a person. If you want to use Instagram for business, you probably want to, based on these things, you have to tell Instagram and you have to make an action on the, excuse me, on the app to do that. Now, why would you change from personal to business? Well, you get better analytics. So it will tell you more information about the posts that you're posting, how many people they reach. You can get insights on the type of people, some demographics on your followers and who's following you. You get a contact button, and they're always kind of like changing this and improving it to encourage people to go to business if they are running a business. Why? Well, they're hoping that someday you'll eventually start taking out ads. Remember, this all comes down to you taking out ads, right? That's how they exist. If you're building a personal brand, you could make the argument that you want to stay with a personal account. However, you're not going to get the additional business features. And there's a link here which I'll put in the chat. If you want to learn a little bit more about the ins and outs of that, that's just too much on this to cover in 1 hour. So someone asked a question, if I already opened an account, how do I switch account? Or how do I know? If you go to this link, this should tell you how to switch to a business account. And I think you can actually flip back and forth. I don't recall, or actually, I think once you switch to business, I've never switched back, but I think once you go to business, you're on business forever. But that link should be able to help you. And if it doesn't, again, I can get you some more information on that. So this is great. Keep the questions coming. Oh, I guess I do have a slide on how to connect Facebook. I probably from the last, I must have added this in the fall. So this is a really important, I'm not going to walk through it here. And I will caution you, this is different for everybody. I tried to do this I remember now, I tried to do this in the fall, and it was so different from what I was seeing versus other people. But if you have a Facebook account, you can post on Instagram and automatically cross-post it on Facebook. Now, is this a good idea? Not necessarily, and I'll tell you why. But before we get into that, it also allows you to, if you're going to be doing advertising or push ads or do promotions, it's easier to cross-platform advertise. So if I do boost a post, for example, or I create an ad, I can click a button and say, I want this to go on both networks. So the way you connect a Facebook account, you go on start on Instagram, go to settings, go to linked accounts, select Facebook, and then there's a series of steps from there. There are, again, there's so many, I've seen this so many different ways. The last time I did this, it was a lot of work. I went to YouTube and I watched a couple videos on my account. For some reason, it was on this one account, it was a little bit different than the steps on the help page. So just keep that in mind. And someone asked a question here, which I'll answer. Is the public account is the public the same as a business account? So when you first create an Instagram account, you start with a personal account and you have to choose, do I want to be public or private? You have to choose one of those. From there, then you choose, do you want to change to a business account? And as you go through that process, you'll see, and I'll give you an example. When my kids were younger, I started Instagram. They're teenagers now, so it doesn't matter. When they were like, younger, grade school, I posted a lot of pictures of them. I didn't want the world to see pictures of my young kids. I only wanted my friends to see them. At some point when they grew up and, now they're high school and heading off to college, I didn't care anymore. I didn't have that worry, like the security worry of posting, photos of my kids. I made my account public. I wanted for people to find me. I wanted people to see what I'm up to. I still do some family stuff there, but my personal Instagram account, it doesn't matter anymore. So I changed it to public. When I created my personal account, I had no reason to take that business. I created a whole separate account for my business called Cape Plymouth Business. I created that account with the intention of always making it a business account. So I made it public and then I upgraded it. I changed it to a business account. I hope that makes sense. Once you go through the process, I think it'll make a little bit more sense to you. So let's walk through the interface a little bit. And again, this is going to change. This is going to change over time. It might look different for you than for me. There's going to be several buttons at the bottom, and mine is already showing a different button here. So the home tab is on the left here. When you click on that, it's going to basically show you your feed, the people that you're following. It'll show you ads, other users, other businesses or business pages that you're following, etc. You've got a For You type of a page. If you click on that search, that little magnifying glass, you're going to see like kind of a grid of content of people that you don't necessarily follow, but Instagram thinks that you'll like. And I think at the beginning, Instagram's going to kind of guess based on your age or based on other posts you've interacted with, what it thinks you're going to like. And it might show you fitness, finance, travel. And then as you start to use the app, that For You page or hashtag, certain hashtags if you're following, it's going to change over time and you're going to see different types of content. And just for fun, if you want, do a search for like dog videos or cat videos and like watch a bunch and click the like button. And then a day later, go back to Discover and see what shows up. You'll see, I've done this before. It actually does change. So we've got reels. That's a big thing on Instagram. And I think you can make them longer than 30 seconds now. A reel is if you're familiar with TikTok, which is a video social, was just a video social sharing app. You can do more with the content. You can add music. You can cut clips together. You can put emojis. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with it. Instagram is really encouraging video usage. I recommend that you play around with this feature if you want to, if you're comfortable with it.
Now we have another question that just came through.
Sure.
Does the linked account, this is from Tammy, does the linked account go both ways? For example, if I post something to Facebook, will automatically go to Instagram if accounts are linked? And same with Instagram going automatically to Facebook.
No, it works. So this is a trick question. Facebook has this concept of a business manager, which we're not going to get into today. That's a whole like half a day thing. In the Facebook business manager, if you do a post, you can post to Instagram. But if you're on like a phone and you're posting on Facebook, you got to go Instagram to Facebook. It doesn't work the other way. There's rumors about them rolling that out so that you can do that. But I'd say as a general rule right now, if you log in, you're probably not going to have that ability. Again, unless you use the Facebook Business Manager, which is a different thing. If you're using Facebook, I would recommend you do use that. I had a lot of problems with it. I abandoned it. My posts wouldn't work. The pictures would be broken. I couldn't deal with it. I like to do everything organically. It didn't work for me, but you could certainly look into that. Obviously, you've got your profile here, which is an important part of any social media app. You can find new people. You can edit your profile picture, edit your bio, put a link in your bio, stuff like that. And again, this area tends to be different for a lot of people. The plus icon, sometimes I log in, it's at the top, sometimes it's at the bottom. That allows you to create new content, to actually take a photo from your camera roll, or to take a video, or you can take a picture live, or you can record a video live and then upload it right to Instagram. Oh, I'm sorry, shop feature. Thank you, Suzanne. Did I skip over it? I did. There is a shop feature. So on Instagram, you can click this button. You can actually, Instagram now lets owners set up the ability to buy products through Instagram. This is a tricky, this is hard for new Instagram users to use. You have to have a certain amount of followers before you can sell on Instagram, okay? But check that feature out. You can actually go and buy things through Instagram. A lot of people do this. A lot of younger people do this. I used to own a web design company, and one of my business partners there, he would go and just like shop on Instagram and buy stuff. I would never do that. It's just not my thing. If I wanted to buy Nike, I'd go to Nike. If I wanted to get, I don't know, healthy snacks, I might go to Amazon or Walmart, or if I want electronics, I might go to Best Buy. I never thought, or if I wanted shoes, I might go to like, you know, a shoe like Zappos or one of those shoe places. I wouldn't go to Instagram, but it's a way to find trendy products and see kind of what's going on. So thank you for that reminder. Let's see. Henry has a question here. Does Insta still disable or suspend counts if they don't post after X days? I don't know, Henry. I've actually never heard that. Um, I've never heard that before, so I don't know. I can find out though and get back. I would say, I wouldn't see any reason not to post anything. Even if you just posted a blank picture, if you're worried about your account being disabled. I mean, I haven't posted in about a year. I don't post a lot on Instagram personally. I know all my content's still there. Nothing. I don't know. I haven't heard this. So Suzanne has a question. Who is getting percentage from the sales in Instagram? That's a great question. I don't know the percentage of sales. That's another question I can get back to folks on. I don't know what the current percentages are. So getting back to the interface here, you can see your activity. It will show you things that you've liked and other, activities that you've made on the app. And then of course, the little squiggly icon, that's the same icon that Facebook uses. Those are direct messages. So if you have unread notifications here, if someone's sent you a message, and if it's someone you don't know, if it's someone you don't follow, it'll say so-and-so is trying to send you a message. You can delete it, block it, or read it. Also, if you're a business page, people can contact you directly. It will show up here. I have all my notifications turned off. Personally, I only want to see it when I go to the app. So they give you this feature here. So, okay, you started a Instagram account, you change it to a business page. It's not going to do you any good unless you start to grow a following, right? So through the Discover button, you can invite friends to follow your page. You can start to follow other people. So start searching for people in your industry or maybe people in your area, people that would make sense to follow you. They're going to get a notification that you started following them, and it will give them a kind of entice them to follow you back. Okay. So there's a method called follow unfollow, which I don't recommend you do. People will just follow a bunch of accounts, or there's software to do this, and then they wait for those people to follow them back, and then they go back a week later and they unfollow all those people that followed them. Don't get into that nonsense. Be organic, be natural and engaging with your Instagram experience. Follow people because it's relevant to you somehow. Don't just follow them for the follow back. You can use hashtags to find people for relevant content. So for example, let's go back to the floor company. They do like epoxy flooring, they stain and polish concrete, they do refinishing, more commercial type garage floors. Let's just say I want to network with other people in my industry, but not compete with them. I could do a hashtag for something related to my business and then look at their profile and see where they are. Maybe they're in California, maybe they're in Florida and I'm in Massachusetts. It's okay. You have to think about growing a community where people want to belong to, not always thinking about who's going to buy from me or who's going to be interested in what I'm doing. Instagram is a tool where you can also learn what other people are doing. So this floor company in California, maybe they have really great posts or they have great video or they have great content. You can see what they're doing. Are people liking it? Are people talking about it? Are they reposting it? You can get new ideas, right? So this isn't always, and if they're liking your posts and they're commenting and you kind of get this community going, that's a good thing, right? That's good for you. So use hashtags to find other people either in your community. I might do hashtag Cape Cod, or I might do hashtag, epoxy flooring, or hashtag remodel, or whatever it might be. And this is kind of you have to think about this as kind of a journey. Okay. How else do you get people to follow your page? Send out emails, right? If you've got a newsletter or I have a list, I have a contact manager and I've got a list of people that I network with. If you create this channel, send them an email and tell them how to get to your channel. Put it on your website, add it to your email signature, put it on your marketing materials, right? There's not going to be a silver bullet here to get followers. You're going to have to work to get this. I can tell you, so at Cape and Plymouth Business, two years ago, almost to the day, we didn't have an Instagram. We've dedicated maybe 5 hours a week to it, and we've grown it to over 1,000 followers. I don't know what it is now. Now, another important thing to talk about is, I don't know if I get into this in the presentation here, but just because someone follows you doesn't mean they're going to see your content, right? Instagram is only going to show them your content if they think it's something that person will like. Because remember, Instagram wants them to stay in the app. If they're going through their feed and they're seeing a bunch of stuff that doesn't have any relevance or they're not interested in it, they're going to leave the app, right? So this is why it's really important. Start with people you know, start with your industry, start with people who are going to be interested in what you're doing, grow it from there.
We had a couple of other questions that came in too, Dale.
Sure.
Is it best to use a real name or a trendy made-up name?
I would use your business name. If you could tell me what your business is, I could give you a little bit more of a better answer. But okay, so a good example of what Nancy's saying here is, at the magazine, I do work with an insurance company. They're Murray and Mac Insurance and Murray and McDonald Insurance. This isn't a shameless plug. This is a good example. They do insurance, right? They sell insurance. They advise people on how to protect their assets. A lot of their website and a lot of their social handles are risk advice. Okay. So they don't look at themselves as someone who sells insurance. They look at themselves as advisors advising against risk and exposure to people's assets. That's not something I would personally recommend. I would have kept it the company name personally, but I think in their case, it works. It psychologically puts something in your brain about what they do, and that can be really powerful. That's an example. I think it's really up to you. It's really, put on your marketing brain. It's out of my comfort zone to do something like that, but people do it, and I think it can be done successfully. So I hope that helps, and if it doesn't, give me a little more background. So I hope I got this right. Doria asks that her account is a personal. Should she switch it to professional? Going back to our original slide, when you go to professional, you won't be able to go back to personal. When you go to professional or business, they change their minds on what they want to call it, depending on what screen you're on. You're going to get more insights on your audience, who's following you, more insights on your posts, how many people are there being how many people are reached with that post. You're going to get things like time of day when people are online. You're going to get a lot more data about it. You're also going to be able to place ads. There's really no difference to going back to personal. If you're using this to promote your business, you, in theory, have to go to a business account. If technically it's against Instagram's terms of service, if you're a company using a personal account, you could be an artist and use a personal account. You could be in real estate and use a personal account. You could make pottery and use a personal account. But if you're like actually selling your services, it's technically against their terms of service to have a personal account. So we got another question here. I think it says Haya. Sorry, I need my new glasses are coming in here. 360 Ed, augmented reality educational technology company. I would use my company name. In doubt, I would try and use my company name as much as possible. In your content, you can put hashtags like hashtag augmented reality, hashtag educational tech, hashtag whatever, and you can do research on that, and that will help people find you. Doing it by your username, I think, is going to confuse people. And another great example is if someone wants to tag you in a post, they're gonna use your company name. They're gonna do @360ed. they're not going to be like, what was their name? Was it Reality Augmented or was it Ed Tech? I forget their username. They're going to know your company name, and that's branding. So when in doubt, I would go with your company name. All right, I think we can put that to rest now. So in Instagram, you have a bio, right? In your profile, you've got a picture. You can put a limited set of words, and you can put in one link, one clickable link. And in your posts, you can't have any clickable links. You can post a link, but it will just be plain text, and it doesn't allow people to go out. So what a lot of people do is they do something like in a post, they'll post something, we got this thing going on, link is in my bio or link in bio. That's telling Instagram users to go to your bio page, and there will be a link to learn more about that particular post. So because you only get one link, it's kind of a pain to always change that one link every time you post. And guess what? What if you've got a story running for 24 hours and you've got 2 or 3 posts, and those posts have a 2, 3, 4 day lifespan? How are you going to manage that? Well, you can create a page on your website, which has a bunch of links on it, or you can create a Linktree account, which is free. From your bio, and you can see here, I've got one link to my Linktree account. And in my Linktree account, when you tap on that link, I can very easily manage through a web interface all the different areas that I want to send people to, okay? So I don't have to always change my bio link when I post something. If it's out of range from what's already in my Linktree, I can add that Linktree option. And I've simplified this to the point where it'll say something like, instead of our April issue, May issue, it just says, read our digital magazine, answer a poll, webinars, newsletters. You know, it's very generic, so that when I say link in bio, it's pretty obvious. They can pick an option and kind of get to that. If I'm publishing a new, I think we even have a button that says like news or in our newsletter or something like that. So if I publish something new, I'll say link in bio, and people will figure out how to get there. We do so much posting. I can't be like updating this link tree all the time, but I need people, and we actually get people come over to our websites. This is really important. And I'm going super fast here, so I'm going to slow down. Laura asks, what do you do with the 5 hours a week towards Instagram? I'll answer that in a second. Christine, a business account is free, and don't worry about getting disrupted. This is also recorded. You can go back and watch it, but a business account is free. The only thing that costs money is to start placing ads. What about saying link in comments? Can you pin a comment so it stays on top? No, you can't, and you can't put a link in a comment anyway. So if you want, so if I publish a new, let's say a new magazine edition comes out and I want people to come and read the electronic version, I can't link in a comment and I can't link in the post on Instagram. I can paste it, but it's not an active link. So I'll just say link in bio. That tells people to click on my profile picture to visit my bio, and then they'll see the link tree, and then they go off from there. It's a really convoluted process, but it's the only way we really have to do it. We have gotten to the point where we try to put all of our content in the Instagram post. So even with stories, we're starting to rewrite the story a little bit so you can read the whole thing in Instagram. Well, how does that help if we're a magazine company and our advertisers are paying us to read the magazine and see their ad? How do we make money on that? Well, if someone's on Instagram and I want them to read the story and get interested in what we're doing, I just want them to read the story, right? And then once a week, we do a post thanking all of our advertisers. So if people don't want to leave Instagram to read our story, they want to read it there, I want to give them that ability. I want them to follow and grow our following. If I can grow this to 5,000 followers and I post for my ads, my clients that are over here in the magazine, but I post now because I've got 5,000 people here, that really adds a lot of value to them, right? If you're in Instagram, what's the likelihood that you're going to click the profile link, click the link tree, and then click up to the website? I mean, people do it, but it's not a really well-used application. So when you link out of Instagram, you really want to think about why you're doing this and does it make sense? And can you put everything they need right in that post? Svetlana asked a question, can I link to reviews? Yes, you can. If you want to see Linktree in depth later, I can log in. You can, it's super easy. You paste a link and you push a button and it shows up in here as a square. You can post to any, you can link to anything you want. Okay, so since there's interest in this, I might as well show you. So basically just go to linktree.com. You get started for free. Just click this button. You can pay. They have some paid accounts, but I already have an account. Oops. So I've got a couple different accounts here. I'm going to sign in. I just zoomed in here. So these are my links. This is what it looks like now. Visit our sponsors, our giving guide, monthly editions, tech. I do work with the Tech Council, articles and news, job board, blah, blah, blah. So if I want to just add a new link, I just click add link. And I put in my text. I put in my URL and Google gives you a way that you can copy your URL for your reviews. And then you just hit, I think you just, so I'm just going to put in here SEO services. And you just hit enter. And then boom, that shows up in my link tree. And I can even test it right here. It's pretty cool. So I hope that answers your question. Let's see here. Oh, we got a bunch of content to get through. So I'm going to boogie. Here's a tip. If someone starts following you, send them a direct message and say, hey, thanks for the follow. It's a really nice way to get to engage with them. If they send you a thank you back or they like your post, guess what? Now Instagram's starting to draw a connection between the two of you, and you're more likely to see their content. They're more likely to see your content. Plus, it's nice, right? Remember, we're building a place for people to be social. We're not always selling stuff. Content creation options. So as I said, you can create posts like Facebook. A post, when I say post, I really mean an image here. You can use a single image or a photo, multiple photos. And on Instagram, when you have multiple photos, you swipe to see multiple photos. This can be fun. So my family owns a bakery, and once in a while we'll say, here, surprise for you today, new menu items, swipe to the end, swipe to the last photo to see what it is. And at the end, it'll say that new item, or it'll be a hug for the customer. It'll be something fun. Why is this important? If people are swiping through and they're seeing the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth photo, Instagram's saying, wow, this person's really engaged with this profile. So don't think about this as bait, but think about like, how can you create content in a succession that's interesting to people so they want to see the next thing? Let's say it's a kitchen remodel. Here's our new kitchen. Swipe to see how we got there. And then you see the old kitchen, and then you see the demo, and then you see the cabinets going in, et cetera, et cetera. Try and think about being engaging, right? You can create a story, which we'll get into in a minute. Stories are quick things that last 24 hours. They're great for specials and blast sales, highlighting something. They don't stay on your feed. They are only viewable from stories. And if that's confusing, I'll get into it. Reels, you can create a video with a lot more video capabilities. You can go live on Instagram, right? You can actually share your screen with viewers, and you can show them how to do stuff. Try doing all of these things, right? And here's another tip. Create a whole separate account and try all of these things with no followers. Make all your mistakes on a blank account, a whole new account. Make all your mistakes there. Play with your content, post. I still even have blank accounts. If I want to see how a photo will look when I post it, or a video, I'll post it there first and check it out. It takes time to create content, right? So I want to make sure it looks good before my audience sees it, especially like on some of our profiles have 5,000, 6,000 followers. I don't want to, if I'm really nervous about something, I want to have that extra mechanism to check it out. So let's talk about posts versus stories. A post, when you post something, it shows up when you visit someone's profile or their wall or their grid or whatever you want to call it. You'll see the posts, whether it's a reel, an image, a video, and it will show up here in like kind of a timeline format as a post. They're usually planned out in advance. They show up in people's feeds. You can put a caption in them, meaning some text, and then people can comment them, etc. Stories are on the right. There's a different section in Instagram. You go to that. Those disappear after 24 hours. They're meant to be like real-time information. They don't get saved in a point in time or on your timeline or in your history. You can add GIFs to them. You can feature them in your profile. But here, people can't comment publicly where everyone can see the comments. They can only send you a direct message. And you'll see in the bottom right here, this is a user of Instagram seeing the story. I can't comment. I can send it to someone else. I can post it to my own story, i.e. I can share what they've put on my own story, and I can interact with them directly. I cannot interact with that content publicly. So that's a really different concept. And you can let me know if you have questions on that. I'm going to keep going. You can create interactive stories where you ask a question. So you want to create a story. This tends to change periodically also. You want to create a story. There'll be an option to on the top right to make it interactive. You can make a poll, a quiz, a yes or no. You can do slideys. How much do you love this? How much do you want it to snow this winter? How bad do you want it to snow this winter? And you can move a little slider. There's like there's fun things that you can do to kind of get more interaction, right? If I can get someone to press yes or no on this, that's engagement, right? Instagram says, wow, people like this content. Make it really simple, make it anonymous, right? Some people don't like to be public in their comments. So think about that and try to get people interested in what you're doing. And I've got a link down here. You can just search on Google or YouTube how to make an interactive story, because it does change periodically. All right, I got 7 minutes left here. Let's stop for a second. I'll see if there's any questions. I think I just answered that, Philip. Why use stories? Let me back up here. I'm going to get to your question about what I do in my 5 hours a week. For Linktree, you don't want to do too many. You don't want people to scroll down forever. I try to keep it between 5 and 7, but I think you can do more than that with the free plan, Svetlana. Philip said, why use stories? I think I went through and mentioned it, but just to recap, their point in time, they disappear, they allow people to interact with you without being public. They can send you a direct message, and to do an interactive story, asking yes or no questions, getting people to interact with your profile, that's going to tell Instagram that person likes your content. So think of really broad things that get people to interact with your content. Carolyn's asking about adding and editing hashtags. I'll do that in a second. Really, really important here, right? Instagram's all about content. So how do you create content that looks nice? And look at how nice that photo looks on this phone. It fits perfectly, right? That wasn't by accident. Instagram gives you standards, and I love to use Canva, which is definitely worth showing you right now. And we're running out of time here, so I'm gonna try and do this as quickly as I can. I love Canva. Something I would recommend you do is we create templates for all of our content. So let's say, for example, let me find something here. over time, we've learned what content people like, share, comment, what reached more people and what didn't. So we start to create templates. Here they are. And I'm going to make this bigger. I apologize if this is hard to read. So if I'm going to publish a piece of business news, or someone on our team is going to publish a piece of business news, I have we figured out what works, right? Don't put a lot of text on the graphic. Put max 20%. Use rich colors. Leave a border around the edge, right? If you put your image right up to the edge and someone's on a small phone, it could get cut off, right? Or it might be harder to see. We like to always use a headshot. If you can't use a headshot, use the company's logo. Don't put our own logo in there. This isn't about us. This is about telling other people what's going on. We always tag a person or another company, okay? So what that means is when I'm creating my content here, I'm gonna try and do this from a desktop. So if I go, so I create my little plus. Now I'm on a desktop here, and it's letting, this profile is letting me. So let's just say this is Maggie Downey from Cape Light Compact. I'm just going to post this photo. Oops, that went way too fast. I'm going to do that again. I'll have to go back and delete that. First of all, this photo is not optimized for Instagram. I can put in multiple posts here, multiple images. Click next. I don't want to filter. Okay, so here's where I can put my caption, right? I can put in emojis if I want. Let's just say Maggie has done something, right? Cape Light Compact's awesome. They do a lot of great things. I can say congrats at. Now on my business account, it's probably not going to let me tag her personally, and that would be inappropriate anyways. So I'm going to tag Cape. I don't know what their Instagram, I don't even know if they are on Instagram. And I'm going to do a Cape Light. They may not be on, oh yeah, here they are, CLC Energy. Now when I do this, they're going to get a notification that I've tagged them. I'm going to say blah, 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 blah. And then I can do say hashtag energy efficiency. We've got a bunch of hashtags that we've already researched. I might do hashtag Cape Cod. And then we've got a preset list of hashtags that we use. I usually put the hashtags right in my template. I don't know why they're not in this one, but this gives me a guide now. And I can, in Canva, I can just duplicate my last post and change out the photo, for example, right? Change out the text. This really makes my time on the content I post much more efficient. The point of this and how I got here is when you go to Canva, I can say create a design, and it will automatically give me Instagram posts, Instagram story. And you'll see if I'm doing a story, it's already given me the correct aspect ratio. And it even gives me little ideas here. So if I want to do a holiday post, I've got these templates here. I can click that. This is already optimized for Instagram. I can change this to say happy holidays. I can change this graphic, whatever I want to do. Highly recommend you use Canva because making sure this content fits in the frame correctly is huge. So here, I'm falling behind here on time, so I apologize. These are just some examples of content that, this is older content. These are probably a year old now. So I love this restaurant called Chapin's. It's near me. I think this left one here, I think they created a profile of their dog, but it's still their company name. I don't think this is the actual restaurant, but you can see, meet me at Chapin's. Happy, I don't even know what that is. They've got some emojis here. It's kind of fun. It got a lot of engagement. People like this, right? We've got this middle, so this is a post on the left here. This middle frame is a story, and they're saying, you know, next 10 orders get a free sticker. Link is in our bio, right? And they're doing something kind of fun. They don't want this to stay on their wall. They're giving people 24 hours to take an action on this, right? Great. Well, I don't know what the heck do I say on Instagram? I don't have a dog, I don't do stickers, what should I do? Well, take your followers behind the scenes, show the human side of your business, show something in process. I talked about the kitchen remodeling. Always start with your best photo, no matter what you're doing. Start with the best photo. Don't start with the old kitchen or demo or mold. Like, don't show people a disaster, a burnt down house. Show them a nice house with a family in front that says protect your assets, right? And then walk them through the process of how you protect their assets. Maybe it's the questions you ask, right? Be positive, be engaging, be happy. You can use flash sales. If you're a restaurant or hospitality or you sell something, this is like a must do on Instagram. Keep it fun, professional, engaging, and remember, social, not selling. Don't always be selling stuff, be offering things. Build a community where people want to belong and want to get, participate in something. All right, what do we got left here for content? All right, we're at the end here. So we're going to talk about hashtags, and then I'm going to go through here and answer some questions. Let's answer Laura's question, because you've been very patient, you've been waiting here. So for my 5 hours a week, I break it up into sections. So let's just say like a third. I spend a third of time interacting with other profiles, liking, commenting, sharing. Because remember, if you're in as your business account, I'm in as Cape Plymouth Business, and I go and I comment on someone else's post. Everyone that sees that post will see my logo, they'll see my name, and they'll see my content. That's good for me. That exposes me to a new audience. So a third of that time, I'm doing that. And this is not meant to be manipulative. This is participating in a community, right? In theory, I'm following people that I have similar interests with. So if I'm a bakery, I'm conversing with the bar or restaurant down the street that has live music at nighttime, or the hotel that doesn't serve breakfast, or maybe a bakery in California who makes the same types of things that we make, or a coffee company or something else, right? I'm spending a third of my time looking, creating content, right? Thinking about ideas, creating content, seeing what's going on out there. And then I'm spending about a third of my time, probably not a full third, even less time, going back and looking at posts. Why did this one post do well? Why didn't it do well? What can I do better next time? What day of the week is doing better? Like, that analysis is going to help you feed back into your content. Okay. That's going to be a really important part of what you're doing. I'm going to keep going through questions here, Lara. So while we're on the subject of hashtags, Instagram has changed their mind recently. They want us to use, I think it's 5 to 7 hashtags. They don't want us to use 1 million anymore. It will help Instagram understand the content of your post. In theory, it could help you go further. But I want you to think about, like, I recently wanted to go to Puerto Rico to go surfing. I don't know anything about Puerto Rico. Someone mentioned it to me. I heard it was dangerous. I heard it was beautiful. So one of the things I did is I went to Instagram and TikTok and I did a hashtag search. And I found all kinds of businesses. I found cool cafes. I found lots of really genuine content for people posting about it. In that mechanism, whoever used those hashtags, I'm eventually going to go there, and I probably will go to a lot of those cafes and those places that I saw. Is that going to help you build your business? Like, no, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing it. You should dedicate some time to it, getting your hashtags down. And then just always include them in your content. Monica asks, can you use Insta from the desktop as efficiently as mobile? No. You can only go live and create reels on the mobile phone. All the extra stuff you get, you can only do from the phone. From the desktop, I don't even know if you can do video. I think you can just do photos. You do basic stuff. I'd say if you're afraid of the phone, start with photos, start with the desktop, okay? And again, some profiles don't even let you post from the desktop. My My Cape and Plymouth one does, but other companies that I manage, they don't give me that option. I don't know why. So if you have to start somewhere, start with the desktop, move to the phone. That's my recommendation. You got to start somewhere, right? And then Svetlana asks, how many hashtags are good? I answered this. I'd say 5 to 7 max. Don't go too crazy with it. It's just, you're not going to reach as many people. And then last thing on hashtags is you can do hashtag research. And I know we're out of time here. So if folks want to bail, they can bail, but I'm going to hang around and just show you. I use a tool called Loomly, which helps you post in multiple profiles. That has a hashtag research built into it. So I'm just going to go to Google here and look for a hashtag research tool. I don't particularly have one that I use. So I'm just going to type in hashtag Cape Cod, since this is a, okay, so this is going to make me buy something. My point here is you can do hashtag research. There are free tools out there. Just type in what you're looking for and it will give you options. You have to think about intent. So hashtag Cape Cod might have 2 million searches or views, but that's not a real intent. If I'm a food establishment, I might type in Cape Cod Bakery or Cape Cod Foodies. I might do something more specific. I would rather get 100 people to see my hashtag or 1,000 than try to go for 1 million. Because if I just do hashtag Cape Cod, I'm going to be so lost in the shuffle. I'm not going to get found that way. Start small, start meaningful. And that is it. We don't have, I've got a slide here on ads. And then I'm going to post this in the chat for more reading, because I know you just love to spend time reading about marketing. And that's it. I'm done.
Thank you very much. Everyone, you'll get a recording of this as well. Should be sent to you via email. So thank you, everyone. Oh, we had a last minute question. It looks like come in, Dale. Can you back up? You got it.
I'll just cover this. I'll cover this real quick if people want to stay on. We talked about this already. Keep consistent, for great content, consistent colors, high quality images. Think about it in advance, what you want to do. Plan your week out. When are you going to do what and what time? Play around, set up a test account, play with posting. Pick the best hashtags for your brand through research. That was really the big takeaway here. Like I said, I use a product called Loomly for posting. It's like $20 a month. They give me a tool with it, and there's a lot of free tools out there also. And your hashtags may change over time. Don't worry about that either. So, oh, someone can't copy the links. Lara, can we get the links out to people in the post?
Yeah. Yeah, we will be able to do that. Someone else asked for that in the chat as well, so we can
okay.
We can send that.
Okay, this is great, folks. Remember, it takes time. I've been doing this forever. I live on YouTube. My job gets done through YouTube because this changes so rapidly. Just think about the concepts. And when you get stuck, go to support on Instagram or go to YouTube and try to find someone who's posted an answer to what you're stuck on. That's it.
Hey, great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for attending, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Good luck.